Hello COCC students. This video is part of our Black Belt and Blackboard series, and we are going to cover viewing your grade feedback. So let's take a look in our My Grades area. You may see this as your View Grades area. That's what I'm looking at right here in my sample course. And the first thing you'll probably notice is that there are a lot of items in this list. If you have a lot of deliverables or things that you're going to be turning in during the course of a class, then you might see that this list gets pretty long. So one way that you can really quickly filter to find your feedback on the things that you have actually received feedback on is to flip over to the Graded tab, and basically that's just going to eliminate anything that is either waiting to be graded or has not come due yet. So I can see a couple of things right away from the screen. The first off is that if this text is a different color, that tells me it's a clickable link, which means I'll actually be able to go and review what I submitted, and we're going to do that in just a second. But I can also see when it was graded, and I can see the grade that I received out of how many points were possible. The other thing that I'll notice is that I have these little blue balloons next to the grade, which means that the instructor has not only graded the assignment, but there is actual text feedback for me to view. So I can quickly view that just by clicking on one of these bubbles, and it will bring up what they had to say. If I want to look at it in context, I'm going to have to go in and actually open up the paper or the assignment or whatever it was that I had turned in. In the case of tests, it's particularly important to go in and actually look at your submitted assignment, because most faculty will allow you to see how you performed, not just the questions that you got right and the questions that you did not get right, but you may actually get to see the answers as well and use those tests as a study guide to help you perform better in any later assessments that you may have. So I will open up my test by clicking on the name of the test, and over where it says calculated grade, again you'll notice that this is a different color, which means it is a clickable link. And if I click this, here is my test, and as I just said, it shows me my selected answer, my correct answer, and the individual feedback for that individual answer. What you see here is going to vary a little bit depending on the settings that your instructor chooses, but it's always worth a check. You may find some really helpful information here. That is viewing a test. Assignments such as papers are also definitely worth a look at the original document, because your instructors can leave comments and actually create annotations within the paper itself. So I can see now that I'm looking at the paper that I turned in, I have my feedback over here, which I can see my grade, but I can also see all of these items on the paper itself. So make sure that you're coming in to look at these as well. You never know how much more detail may be left, and obviously if your instructor is taking the time to leave this kind of feedback in your work, then they really want you to be able to read it and have that as a learning tool for you. Going back into my grades, the last thing that we're going to look at is what a graded discussion board looks like, because this is another really common way that you may be assessed in your course. If I click on the link to the discussion board, it takes me to my post, and similar to where I was able to look in the assignment, I can see my points possible over here on the right and my feedback that was left here right below that. So that's a very quick overview of how to view different kinds of assignment feedback in Blackboard and how to really quickly filter your My Grades area so you can identify where you have feedback.